Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Beware of Bulldogs. My name is Caleb Nail. Today is Wednesday, March 26th. We made it day 2, or almost on time, almost. um, I'm pulling up YouTube on my phone and getting my outline ready. But as I walked outside here, I was attacked by my allergies and flurry of sneezes. Have you guys noticed? Has anyone else's allergies been worse this year than normal? Mine have been awful. Um, but it's okay. We're gonna go through it. Luckily, my camera's bad. Can't really tell that I'm crying and snot is flowing from my nose, and I haven't shaved. Thank goodness. uh, so, anyways, I shouldn't even say all that. We're doing well. I'm happy to be here, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna get to the quarterback talk that we didn't get to yesterday. I want to talk some spring games, and we got a couple other things that we're gonna get through today. And then, of course, we have updates on things that are going on at Fresno State. But first, I just want to encourage you, as you get ready for the day, to be patient with whatever happens today. Patience has been on the mind lately because multiple people have come to me saying that they need to practice patience and things have been tough and people are on, it's springtime and the grind is starting and, you got weeds growing in the yard. You got to do, I have weeds growing like crazy in the yard. I got to get rid of them. But have patience, keep going. We're gonna win the day and the rest of this week. It's gonna be a good one. All right, so in Fresno, for Fresno State football, let's talk quarterbacks. Wanted to get to this yesterday, but didn't have the time. The main question that people ask me whenever they want to talk Fresno State sports is, Caleb, who's going to be starting quarterback? And the best answer and we all know this answer, the best answer is, I do not know. I have no idea. And I think people need to be okay with that answer. But we're just that's why we have the shows. We love to talk through this stuff. So for the people that don't often keep up with Fresno State football, or you jump in during the football season, here's what we got. Joshua Wood, who is returner, played a little bit last year. We have Jaden Mandel, local kid, went to school at Buchanan. And we have EJ Warner, transfer from Rice. He is Kurt Warner's son. He transferred in this year. So those are the 3 possible starting quarterbacks for Fresno State football next year. According to the coaches, well, let me tell you about each one, okay, real quick. And for the diehards that know this, sorry, but you'll get to know my opinion on these guys real quick. Joshua Wood, very athletic. Jaden Mandel, very athletic, strong arm. And Jay Warner, smart. Not as athletic as the other 2 guys, but very smart. So those are, very quickly, those are the 3 quarterbacks competing for the starting job. We do have other quarterbacks on the roster, but those are the 3. According to the coaches, let's get to the question, who's our starting quarterback? Who's going to be our starting quarterback? Well, one, I do not know. And a lot can change. But here's what the coaches have talked about. Joshua Wood is the most athletic, and what it sounds like is that he brings the most potential. And I think you talk to a lot of people that keep up with this football team, they would say the same thing. A lot of upside with Joshua Wood under center. He can roll out of the pocket. We could do a lot of things with him. He's also made a couple throws at practice where the coaches are talking about how great of a throw that was. Like that, he's making really good throws. Right now, if I was to pick one starter, like if you told me, you hold a gun to me, I'm saying, I'm going to tell you Joshua Wood is probably going to be the starter. Maybe a lot can happen. Jaden Mandel, they've also talked about his athleticism and his arm strength. I think, he's right behind Wood. And then where EJ comes into play, and they interviewed him, and he talks about how he's got to be with his dad, talk through things, watch film, and he knows he's not as athletic as these other guys, and so he's going to have to use his brains, which is great. I think a smart quarterback is the most deadly quarterback. But as of right now, Joshua Wood, I would say, is the starter. I think we should go and look at the type of quarterbacks that Coach Matt Entz had in the past. Okay, because this is a new coaching staff. Not all new, but most of them, a majority of them, are new coaches to Fresno State. And so I'd say we could start over. They're not going to. Here's what I don't want to say, because I don't like this. Right, when a new coach comes in, like, oh, we're starting completely over, no roster spots. Well, one thing that does matter is snaps and knowing where you've been. Okay, Joshua Wood has snaps. EJ has the most snaps. Okay, so he does have that going for him. But because this is a new coaching staff, I think they want to get their guy and get the right guy in. But looking at the history of Matt Entz, I think you see a lot of quarterbacks that are similar to Joshua Wood, who are a bigger build, are mobile, and can throw the ball on the move, rolling out of the pocket. And as of right now, Joshua Wood is that guy. And so that's why I would say Joshua Wood is currently in the lead for the starting spot at quarterback for the Bulldogs. So that is a short answer long. I don't. Now, I bring that up because I saw an article and I was reading about, they were talking about quarterbacks, so I wanted to talk about this. However, I don't want us to get caught up in who's going to be starting quarterback. I think we have three really good options. And I'm curious to see how involved Tedford is in the quarterback development, because Tedford is still there and football's in his blood, and he cares a lot about Fresno State. So I'm sure Tedford has lots of input for Entz and his coaching staff. I know Pat Hill does this. He's been doing it with every coaching staff since he left. And so I'm curious, is the quarterback guru going to be involved? We've seen pictures of him at practice. We saw him sitting with the Carr brothers. What Are they helping the boys? I'm sure they are, but in what way are they helping the boys out, helping improve our football team? Because those are great minds, great football minds. I also would encourage the players, if they ever tune in, to use those football minds. Text them, call them, DM them. Use your network to get in front of them and learn from them. Because there's so many. Now, I'm in a group chat. I'm changing the conversation, but I'm in a group chat, Fresno State group chat on X, and I don't always keep up with what's going on in there. But one of the things I saw yesterday was they were talking about involvement from alumni. Now we had the alumni. There was an alumni event, and they took them to practice, and they tailgated, and it was a great event. And I heard good things about it from alumni, so that's huge. Really excited about that. But I'm curious about how plugged in our current boys are with the alumni. That's if I could ask an alumni one question is, how is our current team plugged in with you guys? Because those guys have played a lot of football. They played college football in Fresno, and they can help and be mentors. And one of the things in my life over the past year, I should say, since January of 2025, one of the things I've wanted to do is start plugging into mentors and older men, wiser men, that where I can ask questions about my faith. If I have business questions, they've been there, done that. Business, husband, being a good father, all those things. Talking with Christ, that mentorship. And now that I've plugged in and found that, oh my gosh, it's just makes a huge difference. And I want to encourage our players in every sport to do that. One, with their sport, help them in their sport. Two, help them to maneuver college life in Fresno, and how to maneuver things mentally, emotionally, physically, all of that. And I think that really comes into play. So if you know a player, I reach out to them, help them out. Let's encourage them. We had another conversation yesterday. We are not going away from criticizing Fresno State. And we don't want to be that show where we only say good things, because that's just not. Then we're lying to everyone. But the main thing we want to do is to encourage players. So I want to encourage, since we're talking about quarterbacks, the QBs. Let's call QBs. Call Ted for make sure he knows who you are. And granted, 2 of them were recruited by him, so probably a little easier. The offensive linemen. We have a large pool of very good offensive linemen to talk to. Let's go talk to those guys. Baseball players. We have great baseball players. Basketball players. We have those available. Softball. Water polo is a little younger, but hey, we have very good water polo players. But let's just want to encourage. Let's just encourage. Go out and encourage, and let the kids know that, hey, one, we appreciate that you're here playing sports. It's a great way to grow as a human being and learn life lessons. And we understand the work that goes into it. We're going to pour into you. We're here for you. I was not planning to talk about that, but that's something that I want to talk about. Has been on my heart the past couple days. Let's get to some Fresno State updates, and then we'll move into more topic-based. So softball played a doubleheader yesterday against Santa Clara. They won both games. I did catch the first game, and girls looked really good. and you knew they were on the pitcher. It was our bats were hot the early in the game. I didn't catch a second game, but they took both. Softball is looking pretty good here. Should be fun to watch. They are a fun watch. Baseball played Sacramento State last night, and we lost 4-3. Now, baseball team has been struggling, and for the past 2 seasons, we have not really won a midweek game very, very often. However, I'll put it this way. The potential for the Dogs is very high. The Diamond Dogs. And so this is why it's disappointing. And potential, you will hear me say it every episode, is the most dangerous word in sports. Because we have a ton of potential, but we're not winning the games we should be winning. We should win this game. With the players that we have in the lineup, we should be scoring more than 3 runs. But we're struggling right now. Just a matter of time before we wake up, though. It was the same thing last year, but it took us a while. So we just by time, if we can finish, in the upper half of the Mountain West and if we can make the Mountain West tournament at the end, and we're going to be fine because I think we'll be playing well. So softball won 2 in a row, won the doubleheader, and then baseball fell to Sac State. Now, the transfer portal, we talked about basketball transfer portal yesterday. This is a big deal what's going on right now. I mean, I don't think people realize how big of a deal this is. I want to say it's a problem, but I'm not ready yet to say it's a problem. I want to see how it plays out. But anyways, first off, Fresno State news. Mia Jacobs, our stud women's basketball player, has entered the transfer portal. Jamie White stepped down. And with Mia Jacobs being all Mountain West, she was on one of the top in the nation when it came to double-doubles. Good player. So she has entered the transfer portal, along with basically our entire men's team. Almost our entire men's team. So this Mia Jacobs transfer really hurts. But what I want to add is that in the men's game, over 1,700 players entered the transfer portal on day 1. And I saw a post, I think it was compared to like 250 players in the previous, last year or 2 years ago on day 1. This is insane. So my question to you is, do you think this is the NIL? This is name, image, and likeness pushing players into the portal? I think it is. Or do you think it's that guys just want to be somewhere else? Like, I'm going to see it. I'm going into the portal not to test the market, the NIL market, but because I don't like where I'm at, playing time, things like that. I think it's NIL. I think every player is being told by someone in their circle, hey, you can go get more money if you enter the transfer portal, take the offers, see what offers you get, and then take the best one. So the question that I've seen over the past, since the first round of March Madness was, is NIL ruining college basketball? And we're gonna have this conversation every year. Actually, I think it might end this year because I think there's a very clear answer. not only college basketball but college football is ruining college basketball but college football, and then all these we can talk about all these transfer rules, but then is NIL ruining the Cinderella, right? Because there wasn't really a Cinderella this year. I read an article that it's not necessarily true. Talk about BYU used to be in the WCC, Houston in the American, but it's not about that at all. It's about how much money a school brings in, and BYU's NIL program is massive, massive. They just bought the number one basketball recruit in the country with like $17 million, something like that. So I don't think the conversation, let me put it this way, the conversation around NIL in college basketball, I don't think is really up for debate. I think it's very clear. Yes, Kevin. Good morning, by the way. Yeah, NIL, Kevin says NIL is pushing players into the portal 100%. 100%. I don't think there's a debate there. So now I'm sure there's very few. There probably are some, but there's very few. There's probably a couple from Fresno say, no one's here watching me. I didn't sign up for this. I was recruited by a different coach. I want to go elsewhere. I want to get playing time. I'm sure there's a few, but that's probably not even 100 kids. The rest of the 1,680 players are doing it for NIL purposes. And I do think it is ruining college sports. I don't know. We're going to have this conversation every year, so I'm sorry I'm bringing it up. But there has to be some regulation. There has to be. I don't know what that is. I don't like government intervention. I just want the people in charge to just step up, pull up their pants and put on their boots, and then, if you're gonna upset some people, that's fine. It's better in the long run. Let's do it. So, those people were never going to be happy anyways. They have to change the rules when it comes to NIL. I don't know whether, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's changing the rules when it comes to collectives. Is that the way collectives are? That's just going to be ran through, a business. A business will have to step up and do it or something like that. Well, collective is technically a business, but you get my point. Is that what's happening is it's hard to regulate. So I don't know how to do it. I don't have an answer for it, but I just know that it doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. And I think it is ruining college sports. And it's really hurting the schools with less money, as they are also known as the G5 or mid-major. So I just can't believe that there's over 1,700 players in the portal on day one. Crazy. Loyalty. We had a conversation in the office the other day about loyalty and how it doesn't exist anymore, right? Even in the real world, let's say, or I come from the insurance world, so I don't come from it. I'm in it right now. But you may have, we were talking about if you have a client for like 30 plus years, but the insurance industry is very difficult right now, and I work for a broker, so they could be with you for 30 years, but the second another agent at a different agency has a better price, they're gone. Right? Understandable. Cheap times are hard. Same thing in college sports. But they're getting paid more money instead of saving money. It's very interesting to see what's going on. I would like to see something happen. I'd like to see with the NCAA, I'd like to see the NCAA step up rather than all these bills going to Congress where they're trying to regulate these things. But at the same time, I don't think, one, to me, that screams the incompetence in the NCAA. And then two, it's just government has to get involved in everything because they see the amount of money that's going on. That's moving. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Okay. The other thing that I've seen been going around social media are these spring games. Talk of spring games and what they're going to do in the future for spring games. So we saw Deion Sanders post on X and go to social media about, hey, who wants to play us? We saw, and I think the Syracuse coach responded. That's all I saw there. I think there's more to it, though. And then we saw, was it Gundy, the Oklahoma State head coach, talk about, hey, we should get Bedlam back for a spring game. Why don't we bring in Oklahoma, have our little rivalry spring game? I think that's awesome. They should definitely do that. And then we have the other coaches who are talking about, well, we don't want to do a spring game because film's going to get out on our players, and then there's going to be money coming in for them. We can't do anything about it. They're going to have to enter the portal, and they're going to go to Oregon and get a bag because they were offered it after the spring game. That is totally understandable. I get that. And I would not want to lose any of my players in a spring due to a spring game. That's why we need one transfer portal that's on the right date. Right, I would say at the end of the season. I don't like this. We go through camp with my team. I'm going to go through camp with my team, realize I didn't get the spot I wanted. I'm not really going to play this year, so now I'm going to transfer. I don't really like that. I'd rather it be, after the national championship, or like, you didn't play this entire year. Now I'm going to enter the portal. That's when I would like to have it. But anyways, that's not the case. It's not real right now. So what I just want to talk about these spring games really quick. I think the way that Deion and these guys are thinking about spring games is the right way to do it. You have to bring in other teams. It will be a controlled environment, a practice with another team. You see it in the NFL all the time. And there's going to be fights, and it's going to be good for social media. It's going to get all the clicks and the retweets and everything like that. You're going to be able to put out a bunch of videos. Your media team's going to have a bunch. I think that's great. I think that they should do it. And it's a great way to make some money, whoever the home team is. Great way to sell tickets. And I think it's really good for the kids to get that type of competitive juice flowing before the season, before game one. They need that. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate on the other side here. I saw a video yesterday of Fresno State football and a practice that they had, and they were hitting people. Pads on, going for it. Excuse me. Nose is dripping. Allergies. So if your coach can get the competitive juices flowing within your own practice, have high intensity practices, hitting, smack talk, then afterwards we can hug, shake hands, go out to lunch. I also think that's okay. I don't think it's as good as bringing in another team, because I'd like to, as a fan, I would love to see Fresno State, especially when we go into the PAC. Love to see San Jose State come in, or Hawaii come in. That would be tough for Hawaii. Or a UC Davis. Someone along those lines. Come into Bulldog Stadium, former Bulldog Stadium, and then we go and watch a spring game with those guys. But the second that a player gets poached, that team will be out. That will not be happening ever again. And so that's why I think it's really important as of right now for Entz going to Fresno State, as for Entz to, and all coaches, to up the intensity in practice. And I really like what I saw from practice the other day. The video that they put together, I really liked it. High intensity. It reminded me, and they may have done. Oh, hey, we're back. Okay. Not sure if they did that in the past, these hot hitting and things like that. But this looked good. I liked what I saw, and we know how Entz is going to run things. It's going to be smash mouth in the trenches, and the defense is going to have to be tough. I mean, he basically took NIU's defensive coaches, and they were one of the top defenses last year. Now, we did beat them in a bowl game, but they were very good defense and tough, and a lot of good players. So I'm excited with what I see from Entz and the coaching staff when it comes to spring games. Back to spring games. When it comes to spring games, I would love to see other teams come in to former Bulldog Stadium. We could get that going. We're going to have early, quote unquote, football games where we could, I'm sure television networks, I think television networks would pay decent money to go. They already do, but you bring in two schools, there's more incentive. And it's another way to make money. Maybe the Mountain West or Future Pack can go sign a deal for spring games. Right? So that's why I think it's really important to change dates in transfer portal, or just so that teams feel more comfortable doing that, because I think it would be really good for fans. I also think it'd be really good for the kids, the players, and the coaches, because they could get a sense of what they need to work on before a season starts. So that's my take on spring games. I don't think that's. I think that's the way everyone feels. It would be great, but we understand why you're not doing that. Why they are not doing it. Last but not least, did you guys see St. Francis, who just played in March Madness? Did you see that they are dropping from Division 1 all the way down to Division 3? I think you get, just for being in the tournament, I think you get like $1 million, which is not a lot of money. I understand. But the fact that you can win your conference tournament, go into March Madness, and then the very next year, you're playing Division 3, is crazy to me. But this is where we're at now. And there's a lot of factors that go into this, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this too when you have, what's the name of it? There's that court case. It's the revenue sharing coming down the pipe. It's going to be tough for a lot of schools, and I can guarantee you Fresno State is really going to struggle as well. I don't think this is the last Division 1 team that we see this happen to, because there's a lot of small Division 1 basketball programs, Division 1 baseball programs, where the school is losing money on these athletic programs, and now it's getting to a point now where the money is so big in athletics, or the kids want so much, or it just costs so much to travel. Now, the, the colleges can't keep it up. So it's only a matter of time. And hopefully Fresno State is not in that realm. Hopefully, we're pushing the pack into P5 land and P5 money, P4 money. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. It's sad for me to see these things happen. Was it Stanislaus State? They just got rid of their athletic program altogether. All of it gone. And as someone who enjoyed sports growing up, kind of made and seeing the impact of sports currently on kids, I mean, you got to have it. So, but reminder, I'm going to finish up here, but reminder, like, sports is not anyone's identity. We get people, life goes on without sports, and the sports end. Can't do them forever. So make sure you find your identity in something that is real and true. And I would recommend Jesus Christ. That never changes. And he's always got your back. So appreciate you guys hanging out with me early in the morning and catching up with me later in the day. Thank you to all the people that messaged me yesterday and support. Like, every day is going to be tough, I know, but hey, we made 2. So that's right. I'm just happy I woke up on time. I'm excited. My coffee machine is broke though. Pray for the coffee machine that a miracle will happen. But if you guys need prayer, DM me prayer requests. I'd love to pray for you. If you have questions about Jesus or Fresno State or insurance, let me know. I'm happy to chat. This is you guys are a part of my community and what I'm doing. So, would love to talk to you guys and hang out and grab a beer. So appreciate all the support, you guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. Also, sorry, before I go, this is long-winded, but if something comes up, like news and everything, I can't catch everything, right? All the news, DM me the news or send me posts. I'm not on Instagram, but I am on X. And I see stuff on X and I see stuff on YouTube. If you send those to me, I'll get them. Okay, I'll end it there. I'm done. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Appreciate you. God bless. And as always, go Dogs.